You probably think you know what the Kuiper Belt is. You were taught it's the frozen graveyard of the solar system, a quiet, boring ring of icy rocks past Neptune, where Pluto was tragically banished in 2006. But what if I told you Pluto wasn't demoted out of spite? What if its demotion was actually the discovery of a colossal cosmic ghost town? Because when astrophysicists finally pointed our most powerful telescopes into this dark zone, what they found fundamentally broke the laws of planetary physics. To build a dwarf planet like Pluto, a world nearly 1,500 miles wide with its own atmosphere and massive moons, out at the freezing edge of the solar system, the math is absolute. You cannot build a world that big in an empty void. You need a massive, densely packed disk of material. For Pluto to naturally form, it had to constantly collide and merge with millions of other icy bodies over millions of years. Computer models prove the primordial Kuiper Belt must have contained at least 10 to 30 times the mass of Earth to form the objects we see today. But when we count up all the mass in the Kuiper Belt right now, if you took every single asteroid, comet, and dwarf planet in that region today and mashed them into a single ball, it wouldn't even equal the mass of our moon. It's only about 1/10 of the mass of Earth. Wait, 99% of the Kuiper Belt is gone, vanished. You don't just misplace 30 Earths worth of mass. It didn't evaporate, it didn't melt. So where did it go? Did something push it out? Or did something consume it? To answer that, we have to look at the violent history hiding right in our backyard. Enter the NICE model, the most terrifying theory in astronomy. 4 billion years ago, our solar system wasn't peaceful. Jupiter and Saturn fell into a deadly gravitational resonance. For every 2 orbits Jupiter completed, Saturn completed exactly 1. This seemingly simple rhythmic pulse acted like a gravitational shotgun. The combined gravitational shock wave violently ripped Neptune and Uranus from their original orbits, hurling them outward into the densely packed early Kuiper Belt. It was a total apocalypse. Trillions of icy comets were shredded, hurled into the sun, or blasted outward into the interstellar abyss. When Neptune was hurled outward, it didn't just scatter comets into the dark. It sent billions of icy missiles screaming inward. This catastrophic era, known as the Late Heavy Bombardment, didn't just permanently scar our moon. Those plunging comets might have delivered the very oceans of water currently sitting on Earth. We literally owe our existence to this celestial violence. Case closed, right? The gas giants destroyed the neighborhood. We solved the missing mass mystery. Not so fast. If the Kuiper Belt was a cosmic bowling alley of absolute violent destruction, why did NASA's New Horizons spacecraft find this in 2019? This is Arrokoth, 1 billion miles past Pluto, glowing with a strange reddish hue from ancient organic molecules baked by cosmic rays. It is a contact binary, 2 fragile lobes of ice gently resting against each other. For 2 objects to merge this perfectly without shattering, physicists calculate they had to bump into each other at the speed of a brisk human walk, roughly 2 to 3 miles per hour. If it had been hit by even a microscopic piece of debris or caught in Neptune's violent gravitational tsunami, it would have shattered like glass. Yet it's completely pristine. Do you see the paradox? How can an entire region of space be completely obliterated, losing 99% of its mass in a violent planetary apocalypse, while simultaneously leaving behind ultra-fragile, untouched snowmen that formed at walking speed? It's like finding an uncracked, perfectly balanced egg standing upright in the middle of a nuclear crater. Astrophysicists were completely stumped until they realized one chilling fact. There isn't one Kuiper Belt. There are 2 overlapping realities. Neptune only destroyed the inner belt, creating the chaotic, scattered orbits we call the scattered disk. But Arrokoth belongs to the cold classical belt. Here, cold doesn't just mean temperature, it means dynamically peaceful. A shadow realm sitting perfectly flat on the solar system's orbital plane, containing objects that haven't shifted a single inch from their original paths since the birth of the sun. Okay, so the gas giants didn't touch the outer edge. It's pristine, it's safe. But as telescopes looked even deeper, past the safe zone, the rules of physics broke again. In 2003, we found Sedna, a blood-red dwarf planet wandering through a cosmic no-man's land so far out, a single year takes 11,400 Earth years. At its farthest point, it is nearly 100 times further from the Sun than Neptune. Here's the problem with Sedna. It should not exist. It never comes close enough to Neptune to be pushed, and it never goes far enough out to be pulled by passing stars in the Milky Way. It is gravitationally isolated. And it's not just Sedna. We started finding dozens of these extreme objects, and when scientists mapped their orbits, they noticed something terrifying. Their orbits are all extreme ellipses, and those ellipses are all pointing in the exact same direction in physical space. Worse, they're all tilted at the exact same angle. The odds of this happening by random chance? About 1 in 10,000, or 0.01%. Neptune isn't doing this. The gas giants aren't doing this. Something massive is hiding in the dark, and it's pulling the strings of the outer solar system. In 2016, Caltech astronomers Mike Brown and Konstantin Batygin published a bombshell paper. The orbital math dictates there is a massive phantom lurking in the darkness, Planet 9, a world 5 to 10 times the mass of Earth, freezing at -400 degrees, in an orbit so distant it takes 20,000 years to circle the Sun once. It's out there, but because it's so far away, any sunlight that reaches it is incredibly weak, and the light that reflects back to Earth is practically non-existent. So every major telescope on Earth has been scanning the sky. Machine learning algorithms have combed through millions of images, trying to spot a faint, slow-moving pixel hiding against the blindingly dense star fields of the Milky Way. And what have we found? Nothing. Absolute silence. If a massive planet is right there in our backyard, warping the orbits of dozens of worlds, why is it completely invisible? What if we're looking for the wrong thing? What if we're looking for the gravitational footprint of something much darker? Some theoretical physicists have proposed a mind-bending alternative. The reason we can't see Planet 9 is because it's a primordial black hole. Formed in the first fraction of a second of the Big Bang, a black hole with the mass of 5 Earths wouldn't be the size of a collapsing star. It would be the size of a grapefruit. Imagine a grapefruit-sized tear in space-time, possessing the gravitational pull of 5 whole planets, silently orbiting our sun, hoarding the missing mass of the Kuiper Belt, and bending the orbits of dwarf planets without emitting a single photon of light. But wait, it gets even crazier. Just last year, a new faction of physicists raised their hands and said, "You're all wrong. There is no Planet 9. There is no black hole." They suggest that at the extreme freezing edges of the solar system, where gravity gets incredibly weak, Isaac Newton and Einstein's laws of gravity simply break down. It's called modified Newtonian dynamics, or MOND. Under this theory, gravity doesn't fade away linearly forever. When gravitational acceleration drops to almost zero, like it does in the deep, empty abyss past Neptune, the rules shift. Gravity behaves slightly stronger than Newton predicted. They argue that the weird clustered orbits in the Kuiper Belt aren't caused by a hidden object at all. They're the first definitive proof that our fundamental understanding of physics is flawed. The Kuiper Belt isn't just hiding objects, it's hiding the true nature of reality. If MOND is correct, the implications stretch far beyond our tiny solar neighborhood. It would mean dark matter, the mysterious substance scientists have spent decades searching for to explain how galaxies hold together, might not actually exist. We wouldn't need dark matter if gravity naturally strengthens at galaxy edges. Solving this local anomaly could accidentally rewrite the entire universe. The Kuiper Belt is not a boring ring of ice. It is a cosmic ledger. It holds the scars of a violent planetary war that forced our solar system into its current shape. It holds intact snowmen from the very dawn of time, frozen at the speed of a human walk. And it is the hunting ground for an invisible ghost that is forcing us to question gravity itself. We thought Neptune was the end of the story. It turns out the Kuiper Belt is just the doorway into the real mysteries of the cosmos. The Vera Rubin Observatory will open its eye, scanning the entire sky every few nights with unprecedented power. We're about to find out if it's a hidden planet, a primordial black hole, or a brand new law of physics.